Welcome Arnold and Mike already, Lisa as well. Let's wait a little longer. We don't have any interesting price action at the moment, so no hurry. Welcome Kijos as well, Daniel. Good to see you guys again. Well, Bitcoin is pretty quiet, but let's just get started, and then if people tune in later, they can ask it again. What we had is still this range where we broke down from, and currently we are in a downtrend. So we have low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So we are in a downtrend. So often if you are in a trend, and especially after a pretty good range, if you don't then start trending, then you can trend for quite a while. So that could also be the case here. So until you get really clean triggers to expect a reversal, aka a very solid accumulation, for example, then it is more likely that you continue your overall downtrend. So that's also the easier way to play trends, is to trade with the trend. So I'm mostly interested to see if we get any distribution models, anything like this, that will be a high probability short to just trade with the trend lower until you get super clean triggers for a reversal. It's basically the same as during the whole uptrend, where a lot of people have been shorting every potential distribution, but you have to be very aware of what the trend is, because in an uptrend, distributions will continually fail, while internal accumulations will pay well, while currently it is the exact opposite. So a lot of times people want to fight the trend. It's, I don't know, it's something within our identity that wants to fight it. But the easiest way is to just trade with it. So currently, it is easier to look for distribution models, and they are also more likely to play out compared to accumulation models. However, if we look at what do we currently have, we don't have much. We have this new local range, which is basically yesterday's low, so Monday's low, and then today's high. So we have low and high, and now some sideways price action. So now we can watch, what do we do? Are we going to take the highs? Then that would offer potential short opportunities back down until we start forming super clean accumulation models. So I'm basically watching what is the reaction if we take out that local high, and higher probability level is this supply zone with daily point of control. That can be seen right here. Let me show you. Clear the levels and go to 30-minute, and you can see that right here. We have the choppy price action since the start of this week with the point of control around current levels. Also a little lower, we have that current daily point of control. And to the upside, we have a naked point of control, which is a pretty big level. And often that acts as a magnet. And that is around 78K. So that aligns with these breakdown levels of Sunday. So if we retest that, this is a big level to watch for reactions. Break above it, that will be a sign of strength, but for now, looking at the trend, it's most likely that you reject and form lower highs. So that's a big level to watch. And beside that, very simple, range high, range low, currently in the middle, nothing to do here. This is super low probability environment, so I'm not interested to trade Bitcoin until we take out the high or low at least. Welcome, by the way, Abby and Jeffy. Good to see you guys. So my alerts are set and then simply nothing to do. If we zoom out a bit, then we see that if we look at the anchored VWAPs, they are also pointing down, simply showing the trend is going down. So until that changes or you get like a range, then you can expect a reversal, but for now, lower is the easiest way. So do not fight it. Big level to watch is that we are getting closer to the daily market structure low, which is still bullish. So if we zoom out, extend those levels a little bit, then the daily structure, which is obviously a pretty high time frame structure and therefore pretty significant, is still high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So on the daily, we are reaching super important levels where high time frame overrules low time frame. So this could still turn into a higher low for a higher high. And I would not be surprised if we see something like that and then show that on a clean chart. But if we look at the daily structure, we basically have high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So this can all be higher low, higher high. But what if we do indeed bounce from here, get the move to the mid-range, and I could see that this is maybe our new range for like the coming weeks or months, which will fuck a lot of people up. Topping range or a accumulation range. And then it will depend, are you going to take the lows or going to take the highs? I would not be surprised to see something like that. If we fail to hold the daily market structure, then yeah, all these levels below start to make sense, because then it looks pretty ugly, in which this can have been a manipulation, and in this structure it's not really convincing. So the reaction around 75 till current prices will be super important. So let's see what happens there. More locally, just watching the local range as always. Welcome Dylan, welcome Sudo. Then if we translate that to USDT, then we simply have the confirmed Wyckoff model 1, so higher is likely. And also here we have a super clean uptrend from the lows. So if we look at from this point, for example, with high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So this can also be higher low for higher high. Also, if we look at the anchored VWAPs from here, or from here, or from here, this is all this from here, they can clearly see that the trend is just bullish until proven otherwise. And now we have a local range. So here you can watch, price was trending up strongly, and now you get a range. So then you can watch, is this range a reaccumulation range with purpose to go higher, or a potential distribution range? Then you can watch, where does price go to, which will give a signal. If you first start taking lows, that is often a signal that they want to grab sell side liquidity before reversing it higher. This is the highest probability continuation what you can have, because you are simply trading together with the trend. you have demand below your range, which is always a big +1, and your VWAPs are also acting as support. So interproof and otherwise, this is just a bullish chart, which means that Bitcoin is more bearish than bullish. But also here I'm just watching what happens at the range high, range low. For now we have one tap at the high, one tap at the low, so no real edge what will happen next. Oftentimes you want to see at least a second tap or a second tap there, and then have a bit more info to play with. For now, it's just an uptrend, bullish until proven otherwise. I would not be surprised if we chop around for a few days. So hopefully not, but it can happen. Then Sol, I have not charted Sol, so I will not go over that. I will chart it when I have some time. But hype is interesting. Yesterday we were watching for that hype long. Let's use a clean chart. The idea was right once again, but unfortunately no entry trigger. Let's get rid of that. Then this was the local range. We were watching high to low and tab 1, tab 1. And then basically this was that move that we wanted to see, where we already knew, like we have had some demand sitting around this level. We also had the value area high of the range. And right below this demand, you only had sell side liquidity. So here, there's no clean demand, only stacked lows, which is sell side liquidity. So we knew that if buyers that bought it from lower levels wanted to defend the chart and basically push it higher to distribute from higher levels, that they would have to step in around these levels, which is what they did. So here buyers stepped in. However, not an entry confirmation. Unfortunately, because this move into your tab 2, there was no structure in it. So then it's hard to confirm a break of structure. If instead of this, you had like low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, break, then this could be confirmed as your tab 2, and then you can use that as your invalidation for a 2-tap model. Especially you also want some more confirmation by a break into your value area low, but that is what you had most likely. Yeah, you already had that. But yeah, sometimes your whole bias, everything can be right, but you just don't get an entry, which is part of the game. It can be painful to see it play out, but yeah, following the strategy is the most important for me. If we look at the lower time frame on the 3 minute, you did hit a boss. So here you could have said you have low, lower, high, and all the way here it's low, lower, high, lower, low, SFP, and then a break. I was not watching it personally because often I look, is there just obvious structure? If it's not there, then it's difficult to, or at least more risky to start searching for it if it's not obvious. But in this case, 3 minutes could have given you the break, in which this was the break then. Let's see, bullish break. A nice confluence is that you swing filled the low. Oh. SFP, swing fill. So then this was your break. And because we knew that this was basically our invalidation, also the range deviation threshold, and below it we had that sell side liquidity lead trail. So if you wanted to be more aggressive, then it could have been a trade, but a risky one. So know that this time it would have worked, but a lot of times it will not work. Let's see if it was also in the value area low. Yeah, so it was around the value area low, so that's also riskier. You can see that probably from this break, it was above the value area low. So here you could have said, okay, let me take a try. Entry, stop loss. We are back in the value area low. We have a tap 2. We have an internal bullish break. And this is a key level. Then is it worth trading it to the other side? 2.5. Yes. This could have been the trade if you were more aggressive and willing to take some risk. But then it was actually a pretty nice one. So this is how I journaled it myself. I missed it, but you can always look how could I have done it better. But keep in mind that it was definitely the riskier play. And right now, we delete this. We have this local range. High to low, tap 2, swing filled the high, back in the range. And now we tapped extreme liquidity. So let's see. Like on the 1 minute, this is the last buy and sell with that imbalance. So this is the extreme supply. Price did tap into it, but not exactly by showing much weakness. However, this looks locally pretty toppish. Let's see. We have 1 minute structure right here, which is basically a swing failure right there. And then breaking it right now. Or trying to break it, not confirmed yet. Would I play this? Not really. I was looking for that move into it. I can see it play out. But what I don't really like is that this move down took a lot of sell-side liquidity already. And then had a strong move up, which shows me strength rather than weakness. And you have to ask yourself, what is now the purpose of going lower if almost all liquidity already has been taken? Because below this, you only have, like these lows have not been taken. These 3. But right below that, you only have demand. So there's not really a magnet to expect much lower right now. So I can see it play out, but if is it worth it? You now have the break. Validating this is the tap 3, the RR. Yeah, you have to extend it lower then. Quickly looking at what BTC is doing. Okay, BTC is dumping into that demand. It's all internal choppy price action, so not really interested. But we took the daily low. So yeah, am I looking for the short? Not really. I can see it play out, but I'm not personally gonna take it at this level. You can watch if there is something left behind. Also, if you look at this move from low, you have low, high, basically high, low, and then high, high. So locally, this looks pretty strong. And locally, you also have these dimensions. So you can also just high, low, higher, high. And what a lot of people always see wrong is that price is in an uptrend and then focus only on distribution models. When it's in a downtrend, focus only on accumulation models. But it's exactly the exact opposite of what you should do. Because in an uptrend, distribution is lower probability. But our minds and yeah, some people only let you look at the reversals, but it's always easier to trade with the trend. So I would not be surprised if this also just high and then forms a new low, and then can watch for higher probability models. Let's see, is there a super clean PY with very little room for error? No. Maybe if we clear this demand, then come back up, and then get like a new break, that I think, okay, this is too clean not to take, then I will take it. But right now, this is also from a risk to reward perspective, not what I want. And not clean. So I'm gonna put an alert here. Maybe if it comes up there with good structure, it's worth a quick attempt. But overall, this shows that price just took sales liquidity and then bounced up strongly. Just showing that the big players might just look for liquidity to push the price higher again. And high time frame, you should not forget. This can just be high, high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So also in this case, it can play out, but I'm not willing to take a loss because I'm more interested in, let's say this plays out or it turns into a model 1. Model 1 is always cleaner since your invalidation is super clean. And then if we come back down, do something like this, and then form a reaccumulation here, this is high probability because you are trading with the trend. You have a range with super clean demand below it. You have your anchored VWAPs supporting price. You are above the range value area high. So this is the higher probability idea. So rather play that than try to fight the trend. And that's what most people always try to do. But it might work one time, but before it you take probably 5 losses. That is not what you want. That would be so nice. Yeah. Like the model 1 distribution into the accumulation, that would be picture perfect. Okay, so BTC just down, hype. Yeah, just eternal. I'm gonna put an alert here. Hopefully we get that accumulation or a model 1. Model 1 will be cleaner. Then quickly gold. Like high time frame, it's not super clean to me. Let's delete it. Like this was the range high, range low, deep sweep. And right now it's yeah, kind of rounding off each time. So looks pretty weak. So next big PY is the original range low, which was this week. See what happens there. But locally there was a small range. Let's see. This one I was watching as a potential accumulation model. But I shared that this is where the VWAP and the POC can get in handy. Because you have tab 1, tab 2, tab 3. But in this move, you can also see, like, is there super clear structure? Not really, because you have low, lower high. Let's see, is it lower, lower low, lower high? And then basically low, low. So then, like, this is not a good boss. What you then want to see is a good boss. And in this case, you also had super clear resistance from the daily VWAP, which shows you that the daily bias is bearish as long as you are under that VWAP. And if you looked at the volume profile from that high to basically that level right here, and price also failed to get above the point of control. So this is like all volume is created here. Then you want to see a clean flip, and that's not what you had. So this was lower probability model. If it flipped here above it, then I would have been super interested to play any bounce into here, in which this was your super clean invalidation. But now it just broke down pretty heavily and took out Mondes low. Let's quickly look what happened here. Okay. So nothing to trade again on gold. How I'm watching it now is you are trending down. So you can watch this new range. But it's the same fact again. Don't overly focus on accumulation models in a downtrend. They can play out, but they have to be super, super clean. And this again does not look like a good range at all. Like push higher. This is more of the like the range. This one broke down. Aggressive move down as well. So only if this pushes back up, then shows a lot of volume in the middle, only then I will start looking at it from, okay, maybe this is the accumulation. Nice liquidity drill, then you can trade it. Otherwise, this can just be local choppy price action before lower. So just observing what gold is going to do. I don't have a clean bias on it. Let's see. Okay, so hype in the demand. Overall not interested, so just see this as a mitigation and see if we get another push higher. I've added SEC to my watch list because it's kind of trading independently from the rest of the market. And it's better because ETH, Sol, I don't know, basically every crypto coin is just a replica of Bitcoin. So, and now Bitcoin is pretty choppy and the rest just does the same. So I like the pairs that are living their own life, like Hype or Tao and now also SEC. So edit it and let's see how it trades. Basically have range, high, low, mid-range around here, so tapped. Early range in the making, but I like this local uptrend, basically high, higher low, higher high. And then you have your range point of control, confluence with this demand zone and the fib level. So if we get a move into here, and then locally with some bullish breaks, then I will be interested in trading this higher. Let's see, it's an, what kind of demand is it? Two-hour, yeah, so it's basically 4-hour, 2-hour, like these two last candles before the break, and then more refined one is the 2-hour. But this is a super nice confluence to have. Demand, point of control, fib levels. So waiting for price to move into here, and then see if you get local structure confirmations, and then trade it higher. That's it for SEC, and Tao is, yeah, basically just chopping around. Yesterday I took that small long trying to play that Model 1 into the Model 2. That one failed here as stepping into demand. Then we came back up and now are just chopping around. And what I mentioned yesterday is that often you have like choppy price action, low, high, and then those lowest point and the highest point can then be the starting point of your good range to work with. So that's what I'm watching on Tao now, where this is potentially range low, range high. And then you also see that you have demand below it. We tapped into the upper part of it. but there's still demand remaining lower, and you have supply above it. So this is a good range, where if you take the highs, you have confluence of taking the high into supply for shorts, or you take the range low into demand for accumulations. So just an alert at the high and the low, let's see, and then play it from there. High time frame, this looks super heavy. And if you look at this strong move up and almost a straight move down, then price does not spend a few days here and then gives full reversal. That's not what happens. If this reverses, then oftentimes it will be building a long base before it has the strength to move back up. So overall, I think this will take a long time, but price often starts with a local range. Then you, for example, accumulate, take that accumulation into a new high. And then this is your first range you can play, where you play the model 1. Then you get a new low and high. And often that is then your new range. So now you have low and high again. And that way your range becomes bigger and bigger each time, where from here you can play it again. And then you get the distribution, for example, breakdown, and then you draw your ranges again. So in the end, it does not matter a lot what happens, as long as the local ranges get confirmations, you can just trade them both ways and lower into a higher time frame. For now, this is potential the new range, so let's see how that develops. That are basically the coins I'm watching. It looks like we will be arranging / downtrending more locally, but let's see how they develop. For now, there's nothing to do for me until we take the highs or lows. Gold, same, already explained it. So let's look at the chat. Do you use the BrighterData price targets ever? Like 90% target is X. No, not anymore. I first used it, but it highly depends on, like if you are in a trending week, then the targets will be much higher. And when you are ranging, then it doesn't use a lot. So I don't use it anymore. But they're building their new platform. I will get beta access in next week or two. And then a lot of things will be automated. So that will make it much easier. So maybe I then start incorporating it again. But you can use it. For example, we have bearish monthly stats. Let's look at it actually. And quickly at the order flow, because we are... New York is selling again. Yeah, overall it looks weak as fuck. But we can look BrighterData. Then BTC last 7 years and a monthly. Let's look at the monthly. But this doesn't. Oh, yeah, in this case it doesn't work because Bybit had that crazy week and it incorporates Bybit USD. But overall, I believe on the monthly, the target is an 80% chance that we hit 74k or 73k. So also that we are locally trending down. So I'm looking for the easiest way, which are continuation shorts. But for that, I still need triggers. which is at least if this took the high and you get then an internal boss, you can be more aggressive and just play that to the downside. Right now, there's nothing to do for me here. Just internal, and then you just have to be patient and not do stupid stuff. And that's for all the coins. Nothing to do on gold, nothing to do on BTC. Hype is the most interesting one, but yeah, like I can see it play out. But like even on the 1 minute, the boss only came technically here. And then you have to ask yourself, like, are you willing to trade this asset that is overall in a super strong uptrend, take the entry here to your technical target? Well, it's like 2R. Would have been pretty okay, but yeah, it's not super clean one. If you had cleaner structure in this move higher up, then I would have taken it. But right now the boss was low, and that also is while price has demand close below it. These candles clearly show strength, so low probability. Beside that, literally nothing to do. I hope markets won't start ranging like crazy again, or at least form some good ranges, but not this stupid stuff. Like give me a range like this again, which we had over the weekend, and then we can play the distributions. But yeah, other than that, for me, there's nothing to do right now. So I don't know if anyone has questions or want me to look at any chart. But for me, it's a matter of patience right now. Hype. Zeki, nothing. Tao, nothing. Eat, it's horrible. Quick look at Sol. Also, what a weird price action. Dodge. Yeah. It's all like weird charts. Don't like them. But we learn a lot in here. Hopefully that's true, because sometimes when the market is this dead, yeah, there's not much to talk about, but that's just part of the game. And also important that sometimes that's the case. All the times there's a lot to do. But my system is super clean, so I know when to act, when not. Now it's simply just waiting for at least tap 2 by taking out the low or the high, and then pre-plan the tap 3, and then long it or short it, depending on what comes first. Right now it's simply waiting for alerts to be hit. And that's basically for all the assets I'm keeping an eye on. Most interesting one still is then hype, but I still think this is just trending higher. It's also funny to always see the mentality of most people, because most people want to short hype and they want to long all the other coins. But if you watch at what the trend actually is, then hype is in a super strong uptrend. So this one is easier, or at least more likely to continue higher. But everyone is looking for shorts on hype and for longs on all the other coins. But it's exactly the opposite of the trend. So always be very aware of that. That this can turn into distribution, but it is the lower probability likelihood. Other than that, one last check at the order flow. And if there are no questions, then I don't have much to update, unfortunately. Becomes time that there's a solid setup again, but we cannot force them. We also have no aggression or anything. We have no super interesting order flow. We're not at a clean POI, so this is all yeah, boring price action. Which often it's better not to do anything than to start forcing it. Also, this can be super challenging, but often you see this and then you think, oh, this is boring. I'm gonna zoom in, and then your mind starts coming up with things that are not there. Like now, oh, this is an SFP, whatever. But oftentimes, if you have this, just zoom out, watch this, and then see, is there anything? For me, not. This is high probability PY, or if you get like 3 drives in that, shorted back there, something like that. Right now, this is nothing. So I also have nothing to update beside that. So then I'm gonna prepare myself for a run in the rain. It's absolutely shit weather. I don't know how about you guys, but in the Netherlands, it's fucking shit weather. It's almost summer, but it's 10 degrees and it's only raining. But tomorrow, it's the same, still shit. And then from Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, it's 30 degrees all of a sudden. It's like 15, it switches from winter to summer. So pretty wild. Probably the whole country is in rep en roer, as we in Netherlands say it. Cloudy and 60 degrees. Yeah, basically the same here. Let's see, I played a low time frame BNB long earlier, but it lost speed. We might get movement later. Trump is meeting about the war at the White House. Oh, yeah, I believe he wanted to. Yesterday he said he wanted to invade Iran, but did not do it because yeah, some Saudi countries said him not to do it, and I think he postponed it to do it today, but he probably, yeah, you can postpone it again. So maybe that gives indeed some action. Let's see. We need some action because this is boring. And we know we are in a downtrend, so then you can pull also your volume profiles from high to low, so swing high to swing low. Ooh, that's pretty interesting. We are at the point of control. So if you build a good base here, it can be a pretty swift move back up. What you often have is that if you have a clean distribution or anything, like here, that is where most of the volume is, and that you then come down, back up, reject, and that's a super clean POI. But right now, most of the volume is building here, which means that a lot of hands or coins are changing hands. So a lot of people are selling, but also a lot of people are buying because price is not moving much. So keeping an eye on that. But if we get accumulative price action, I'm also not ruling out that this is kind of our rounded bottom in the making. And then still get the bullish scenarios. So can get interesting coming days, but need some more time. So let's see. Action, please. Yeah, we will instruct Trump. Do something, give us action. Okay, guys, thanks for tuning in again. Let's just wait for the development and see if some higher probability setups occur. Otherwise, we just wait, part of the game. So thanks everyone, and I'll speak to you guys in the Discord as always. Cheers, and thanks as always.